NX CAD software training. Hello everyone. Let's say about Geometrical Constraint Part 2 today. Those who are not subscribed, please subscribe to our channel. Move on to the topic. We'll start with the equal length constraint and equal radius constraint, concentric constraint, constant length constraint, constant angle constraint, and symmetric constraints. Let's say about equal length constraint. So now I'm creating two lines here. Let me create here like this. Okay, so now I'm going to create one small dimension for this line. Okay, one of the dimension I wanted to give it for any one of the line, either this line I wanted to give or else anyone. So now I prefer to give for this line. So just to go for rapid dimension, select this line simply and drag it. That's all. Okay, so no need to worry, just go for rapid dimension, select this line and just take it. Okay, now this object dimension is 131 mm. Okay, now I wanted to make this line also to be the same length, means you no need to define here one more dimension here. What you can do is you can apply a geometrical constraint. So both the lines length I wanted to control with the same size, but at the same time the angle can be different. This is how I wanted to constrain means. So then you can go for geometrical constraint. So here you can go for equal length option. So the object which one you wanted to modify, that you select first, then which is your parent object, with reference to what it has to change, that is the second object. So with reference to this has to change, then you select the second one. So this object will have the same length now. Now the shorter length of the line has got changed into bigger line. So now I will take one more dimension, go for rapid dimension, select this line and drag it. You will have a different angles, but you select in the aligned manner. You can see now these two dimensions are same. Since these two dimensions, we have these two lines applied with the equal length geometrical constraint, this shows as over constraint, so that whatever the dimensions we are giving, whatever the geometrical constraint we have given, we no need to give one more time the dimensional constraint. That is overall, so that we have to delete it. Only one place you can give the dimension. Whenever there is a change in this object size, automatically this object also will get changed. Now I'm going to change this object into 200. You can see now this also got changed. Now I'm going to change this line into 50. Okay, this also got changed. Like this it will act. Okay, this is what equal length option. Okay, let's move on to the other one. So here you can see equal radius. Equal radius means it is applicable only for the circle or else arc kind of profile objects. For example, I have a circle here, I have a bigger circle here, I have one arc here. Okay, three objects I have created it. Now I wanted everything to be with the same radius, means what you can do, you can go for equal radius option. You can go for equal radius option, select this arc, the same arc size whatever it is, the same size only I wanted to apply for this as well as for this. Okay, so to do that, now the parent object what I selected, this arc. Now select the second object as this has got changed. Similarly, this is my parent object, select this one. Okay, this also got changed like this. Now you can measure it, each and everything will contain the same radius. I'm taking a diameter dimension, don't worry, either it may be a radius or else diameter, it doesn't matter, you get the same size. Okay, all these three things are in the same diameter it presents. Either it is a equal radius or also equal diameter, it doesn't matter. Okay, alright. So now suppose I'm deleting this. I have a circle like this, I have a smaller circle like this. The dimension I will show you now. I'm going for radial dimension. I'm creating this circle. I wanted to apply a radius, means you can select here as a radial. Apply this. Now this is with the 50.5 mm. This is a smaller size. I wanted to make this circle to be inline to this, means then what you can do, you can go for geometrical constraint, go for equal radius, select this object. This is the object which I am going to modify. Then select the object which one is the parent. So like this it will get changed. Now it has got applied now. Now I am going to change this radius, means I am going to change this into 25, means automatically this also will get changed. This is how this equal radius will work. Okay, right. We'll see one more thing. Now I will delete this circle. I will create one more circle. Now we will see about concentricity. We'll create one small arc like this. Okay, right. Three circles additionally I have created now. Now what we are going to see is we are going to see about concentricity. Concentricity means the same center point it will take for all the circles or else along with the arc also. Okay. Now I'm going for concentricity. Select the object which one you wanted to move. First I wanted to move this object. Okay. Then you select the second object. Okay. This is how it will take it. For example, this is the object I wanted to move and this is the object center point I wanted to consider. Okay, like this it will take. Similarly, this is the object I wanted to move to this center point. I am selecting this. So this is how it will get created. It has come one on another. That's why it looks like this. You can see here. Okay, all right. So this is what concentricity. So the next one what we are going to see is constant angle. Constant angle means nothing. Suppose I have an object like this, vertical line and one horizontal line. Suppose I wanted to create one line at an angle of something. I wanted to go for some random angle, whatever it is. Now this is the line which I want, but I do not want to define any dimensions. Okay, I do not want to define any dimensions, but the line I require as it is. So in that case, the line should not get changed at any point of time. Whatever the angle it is there, it should be as it is. Means that time only we'll go for constant angle option. So select this constant angle, select the single line. Whatever the angle it is there, if it refers to the same angle, it will get locked. Here you can see the symbol. Okay, the angular symbol. This will show here. Okay, so this is how this will work. Here you can see constant angle constraint is applied. Even if you try to move this also, the object position only will get changed since the dimensions are not given, but the angle of the line will not get changed. Even if you try to rotate also, it won't get rotated. Even it will go in the same orientation in the opposite side. That is the only way we can go for it. But the angle we cannot change at any point of time. Similarly, suppose I have a line which is the line's length which is differ from each other. Here also I can drag this length like this. Here also I can drag this length like this. Suppose I want this line to be as it is, or else I want this line to be whatever the length it is there, I want it as it is. I do not want to define any new dimension here. Whatever the length it is there, I am fine with that. Means you wanted to control with the same dimension, means you no need to define with the dimension. You can go for constant length option. Go for constant length, just select this line, that's it. The object length cannot be modified now. So only the position may get changed, but the length you cannot change. Okay, suppose I have this line, this angle we already constrained, but even the length also I do not want to change it. Means what you can do, go for one more constraint here, constant length, select this line, that's it. You cannot change the length of the line. The length may not get changed, only the position will get changed. Here also the same. I wanted to control this line to be this much shorter, means go for geometrical constraint, constant length, select this line. That's it. So this double arrow will show you that this is applied with a constant length constraint. Here you can go. Now if you move, everything you controlled with a geometrical constraint. That's why the length you may come to know that nothing is got changed anything. You cannot move any line's length from one place to another place. So if you wanted to remove this constraint, means what you can do, select this, delete it. Select this, delete it. Suppose here it is applied with the horizontal constraint, means you do not want that, means select this and delete it. You wanted to remove this constant length constraint? Yes. Then select, there are two constraints are there. One is constant length, another one is constant angle. I wanted to remove constant length, means select this, give OK. Then right click and delete it. Okay, now the length can be changed, but angle cannot be changed. Only the length, constant length only be removed, so that only that one only can be able to modify. So this is what the geometrical constraints. So these are all the constraints only we are going to use frequently and forever. Okay, some of the constraints I didn't explain here, like point on string, tangent string, and a perpendicular to string, non-uniform scale, uniform scale, slope and curve. So these are all the options we are going to use only on the spline curves. Okay, these spline curves whenever we are working on, so during the vein creation and blade creation, during those time only we may be using it. I do not want to confuse much now with reference to saying all the constraints, so that only I am not going to explain about these options as of now, but we are going to see once you're familiar with these constraints. Okay, I will take you again one more session on the constraints part. That is the third session of the part 3 will come. That time only I can able to explain it. Meanwhile, you can practice all those things. Now we are going to see about fixed and fully fixed. What is these two? We will see now. Okay, these two buttons are turned off. That is why it is not shown here. Now I'm going to turn on it. Let's see that. Okay, fixed and fully fixed, these two buttons, if you turn on only, these two will appear here. Okay, let's see about that. Now I will delete all these constraints. So see, now I have created multiple lines and arcs and everything, so it is asking for 17 constraints. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything now. Okay, so now geometrical constraints, we didn't create any profile, so no object, nothing is there, so no need of any constraints. Okay, right, now I am going to give fixed constraint. Now I'm going to create a circle over here. Okay, so now you can check how many number of constraints required for this circle. If you want to know, in the bottom status line you can see sketch needs 3 constraints. One is this position, XYZ position you want. From this Y-axis how much it is, from this X-axis how much distance it is. That is 2 dimensions, and 1 diameter or radius. This is the third dimension. That is why it is asking for 3 constraints now. Okay, suppose I do not want to give any dimension for this. Whatever the size it is there, I wanted to go with the same size. Whatever the position it is there, I wanted to go with the same size. Okay, in that case what you can do, can go for fixed constraint. Okay, fixed means generally this fixed constraint should not be used in any of the sketches when you are working professionally. Okay, when you are working in industry, don't use it. This is the option it is present, that's why I'm explaining here, but don't use any fixed constraint or fully fixed constraint. Okay, these two options you ever and never use unless otherwise it is really required, you go for it. Otherwise don't use it. Why you should not use, I will also tell that. See, fixed constraint means now I'm selecting this, that's it. This is having a anchor point here. Whatever there is no dimension defined, there is no XYZ position defined, even though the sketch is fully constrained. You can see in the status bar. See here, sketch is fully constrained here. This is why we are telling don't give fixed constraint. Whatever the size it is there, it will take as it is. Whatever the position it is there, it will take as it is. We cannot modify any dimension. Even if you give a dimension also, see what happens now. It says conflicting constraints. Sketch contains conflicting constraints because of you said as already fixed. That means the whatever the size, shape, XYZ positions, everything got locked up. Even then you are giving some size means it is conflict only. That is why it is saying that conflict constraints. So don't use this fixed constraint any point of time. Okay, right, unless otherwise it is required only for some R&D purpose you are doing, that time you don't have time to do any constraints. Okay, this is the shape I finalized. Okay, with reference to this we can go like if you think, then you can go for fixed constraint, but that too it's not the right way. Okay, right. So then now we are going to see about fully fixed constraint. Fully fixed means nothing. Suppose you have multiple objects. Now I have fixed only one object. Suppose I have multiple objects. Now I have a circle like this. I have one more circle like this. I have one more circle like this. I do not know what is the size it is, what is the position it is, XYZ positions and all I am not giving. I am just going for fully fixed means go for geometrical constraints. Whatever the size, shape, whatever the location it is there, everything will get locked in a single stroke. Select object to constraint. Select this, select this, select this. So this is how you can fix it. Now I have selected everything as a individually. Instead of that, what you can do, you can go for fully fixed means select this sketch directly, everything will get fixed. This is what fully fixed. Okay, I will do one more time. I will do undo. Now I'm going for geometrical constraint. I'm going for fully fixed. This sketch, I wanted to make it fully fixed means select this, you close, that's all. So this sketch got fully constrained, as well as here also you can see in the status bar in the path navigator, as well as in the bottom status line also you can see it is fully constrained. In a single stroke, the complete sketch can be arrested. This is what fully fixed. Fully fixed. Okay. Right. Okay. Let's see about to make symmetry constraint. So I have created one profile like this. I do not know what is the difference between each other. Now we have learned already few of the constraints. Okay, with reference to that, we are going to do this exercise. What I'm going to do, you just see. Now I'm going for geometrical constraint. I'm going to make these to be collinear. So I'm going to collinear this line and this line. I'm not going to use any horizontal constraints. I'm going to use always collinear constraints. So instead of horizontal constraint, you always prefer collinear constraint. That is the safest way to work on the any of the constraints. Avoid using this horizontal alignment and vertical alignment. If there is no other way, you can go for it. Otherwise, prefer to use always collinear constraints, because of these two buttons, these two options have been introduced only in NX 11 onwards. So in the earlier versions, it is not available. Okay, right. Right. So this is got constraint now. So I wanted to constrain. So this length, now this is horizontal, this is vertical. So this length has got locked. You can see horizontal, vertical already defined here. So still we need 7 constraints, that is including this circle. So that I will delete this circle. So whatever the unnecessary entities are there, always make sure that you have deleted it. Otherwise it will cause you a extra constraints to be provided. Okay, right. Now I'm going for geometrical constraint. I'm going to give collinear constraint between this line and this axis. Okay, so this has got collinear now. Now I'm going for geometrical constraint in which make symmetric. There is one option is there. So this is the dimension I wanted to use it. Okay, so this symmetric make symmetric option will let us to control this profile exactly in the middle. Okay, how I'm going to do it, let us see now. Now I am going to make some dimensions, linear dimension. I'm selecting this line, I'm selecting this line. Okay, just replace the dimension as it is. Okay, equal length I have given now. Under this height I will need to provide, and see here this I wanted to maintain as 10 mm. Okay, I maintained it. Now it is asking for 2 constraints now. What is the second constraint is, you can ask for, so this vertical length, correct? So this vertical length we have to provide now. So I'm going to provide this vertical line, this point, just take the dimension, that's it. Regarding the dimensional constraint, we are going to see tomorrow only, but even though I wanted to explain this make symmetric option today itself, so that you can have a practice on it. Okay, now I have defined all these dimensions. Sketch needs only one constraint, that is this movement only you wanted to arrest it. To arrest this, exactly this object center middle should come to this middle point. So to do that, go for symmetry constraint, select the primary object, select the secondary object, this, and select the center line, this, that's it. Got it? Sketch is fully constrained now. I'll do one more time, this particular step only. Make symmetric, select object, this one, select object, this one. Then I'm going for third object center, like this it will move. Okay, now we have completed all the constraints. So the rest of the constraints, we have few more constraints, what I shown here. So these are all the constraints we are going to study about this in the Geometrical Constraints Part 3, that is in the later period. Once you're familiar with these constraints, I will take it forward to that, because of these are all the options we are not going to use frequently. One thing, these are all the options used only for the purpose of studio splines and splines only. Okay, so as of now it is not important for us. Only these are all the constraints only you will be frequently using, so that's why I am holding with this. Okay, then we will move on to the tomorrow. We are going to see about completely dimensioning. Okay, and then we are going to take up about sketch exercises. So I'm going to create multiple sketches. I'm going to constrain it, and you are going to see how the constraints can be made in a better way, and how smartly you can do constraints. What are all the different ways of constraining you are going to see. Hope you understand today's session. If you are not subscribed till now, please subscribe to the channel and keep following me. So let's see in the next class. Thank you.